It was good, people. It's your boy J Threat, T2S representative. Here with my cousin. He's a Cowboy fan. You know, I represent that big blue, baby. He thinks Dallas is going to the Super Bowl this year. Would you like to inform the people on why you believe that?
Yes, sure.
And tell us how it's going to happen.
Okay. So as you know, Dallas has won 10 games straight after losing to the Giants in the opener game of the season.
Because we created you.
But the only reason Dallas would have been this way is if Tony didn't get hit in that preseason game against the Seahawks. What was his name? Damn.
Cliff Averill.
Cliff Averill, yeah, thanks. If he never got hit in the back by Cliff Averill, the Seahawks. But it was a blessing in disguise because now we get to see what Dak looks like. And Dak is a great backup quarterback if Tony was able to go down again. Now, everyone who says, oh, we should just keep Dak in there, they don't understand one thing. Tony has a record of 78-49 in the regular season, I believe. Every other guy that backed up Romo during his 13 years in the league, he had 10 years as a starter, 13 as being in the league, doesn't realize that the Cowboys, without Romo, suck really bad. Dak, however, is on a winning streak right now of 10 straight. Romo, however, is going to be the reason why Dallas wins a Super Bowl, and it's because that team's built for him. But Dak's just being used right now.
How's he going to win if Dak is on a high rolling game right here? Why would they take him out and risk Romo?
Because Romo is doing what he did when he first came into the league. He came into the league, and remember, he was a backup to, what was his name? Bledsoe. So he came in as a backup, and he learned under Drew Bledsoe.
But what I'm saying too is, why would they take him out if Dak is on a 10-game winning streak?
Well, the reason why I say they would take Dak out is if an injury was to happen somehow, somewhere.
And you're predicting that.
I'm not saying it's going to happen.
You said Romo's going to win the Super Bowl.
Romo's going to win the Super Bowl, though. It could happen in two ways. Dak could struggle, or he could get injured. Or another consideration might be, maybe Dak tells Romo, "This is where you take over."
Okay, so where is But even with the meeting, that the press conference that Romo did denouncing himself into the starting position and saying that he was going to get traded to another team after the season, you're still believing he's going to lead the team to victory?
Yes.
Okay. Who's he going against in the Super Bowl?
Tom Brady and the Patriots.
And why do you believe that?
Because this is real simple. Tom Brady and the Patriots and the Dallas Cowboys and Tony Romo have a connection.
Explain.
The connection is that Tom Brady came into the league as a 6th-round pick, I believe. He was picked in the 6th round after other quarterbacks were taken and all that. And he was a 6th-round pick. No one really, wanted him, I guess, except for the Patriots. And they put him with Bill Belichick, and you know how that story went. 4 out of, 6 championships. 2, of course, he lost to the New York Giants.
Correct. Big Blue.
Big Blue and Eli Manning and his team. But now, you're asking, why would it be Tom Brady? Why wouldn't it be, let's see.
Because Oakland's looking good right now.
Why wouldn't Oakland be
Oakland's leading the AFC.
Well, yeah, I know. Oakland's is leading the AFC.
So why would you put Tom Brady in there?
Why would I put Tom Brady? Is because the connection. See, everything has a connection in,
What's the connection between Tony Romo and Tom Brady?
Between Tom Brady and Tony Romo.
Explain yourself.
Is that they both came into the league and they both backed up a quarterback that has their connection, Drew Bledsoe. Tom Brady, of course, went on to win 4 championships. And
how many championships does
Romo has not won a championship.
Correct.
But the thing is, Tom Brady's story has already been his legacy is basically cemented right now, as everyone could say. He's got 200 wins as of right now, as of November 27, 2016. Romo, on the other hand, only has a number of wins, 100 and something, I believe. I think, no, not actually. It was. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Romo has 78 wins, I believe. And that's not including the playoffs.
So explain the connection to
the connection with them
to the people.
Is that Romo, Brady both backed up Bledsoe. One came in earlier than the other. Brady came in early in 2001, I believe it was. That was when he won his first Super Bowl against the LA Rams, St. Louis Rams, against Kurt Warner. Then, of course, they went on to beat the other teams, like, who was it? Philadelphia, St. Louis.
And lost twice to Big Blue.
They beat Carolina. They lost twice to Eli Manning's Giants. And then they won against the Seahawks 2 years ago. But the reason why I say Tony Romo is heading for the Super Bowl, especially with the way Dak Prescott is playing, is because Dallas never had a complete team. That team has all the pieces that Romo needs. Like, when he first came into the league, he had Terrell Owens, which he wasn't a bad wide receiver. He just wasn't a team player when it came to Romo and all that. You have Des Bryant, who has a good connection with Romo, has a good friendship with Romo. You have Witten, who has a good friendship with Romo. That defense...
But you don't think the thing that was holding the team back the whole time was Tony Romo?
No.
Because look without him.
I know. There's been many games where he had many interceptions, 5 interceptions. I believe he's the only quarterback to throw 5 interceptions multi-times especially on Monday night. He did that against the Bills.
But look without him.
But without him...
Dallas is great.
But also...
You don't think he's holding them back?
This year, he's great. But he's not holding them back. What was holding him back is the fact that he couldn't hold that team all together.
But he had the same players that Dak has now.
Yes, but Dak had someone that Romo didn't have, Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott is a special runner. The guy's a winner. I'll give him that. But Romo's never been with Ezekiel, so that's the thing. You don't know how they're going to play. But another thing is, too, is that if you go back to the drawing board, Romo always had to rely on the passing game a lot because all his running backs were either not good enough, like Marion Barber and all that stuff. Not saying they weren't special. Like, we had Julius Jones, we had Marion Barber, we had DeMarco Murray, who did his thing a few years ago. But there was something either lacking, like defense, all that. So Romo had things missing. The Cowboys had pieces missing. You got a good running back. You got a great wide receiver corps. I mean, look, they've been relying on, Cole Beasley a lot during this year. Cole Beasley leads the team with
So in a percentage perspective, what percentage are you going with that they're going to the Super Bowl and winning?
100.
100%.
100%.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
It's a little scaly.
10 out of 10. He's going to win that.
Well, why are you saying that?
And
what makes you believe that?
Because the thing is...
If he's a second-string quarterback, what makes you believe he's going there and winning?
Because this is what I see.
What's guaranteeing
What's guaranteeing it? His story. His story, not as his story. His storyline. He came into the league as a fourth-string quarterback. New Orleans wanted him when Sean Payton left to New Orleans. I believe Miami might have wanted him. Not really sure with that. And Denver wanted him. John Fox wanted him. They all asked for him. But Jerry Jones wouldn't trade him. No one would get traded for Romo. No one got traded for Romo. If they did not keep Romo on that team after Quincy Carter got arrested for whatever, that team would have been 50 years back by now with progress. The only reason why they got to where they're at is because of Romo. The only reason why that team has been afloat for a while is because of Romo. Yes, they got Dak, who's a great kid. He's an excellent kid. Excellent man. He does what he's supposed to do. He's a different kind of breed. He's not out there partying like Johnny Manziel. He's not out there freaking, partying. He's not out there like going full rock star. He humbles himself and he learns what it is to do. Like, he goes out there. He came from the best quarterback school when he was coming out of college. The Manning quarterback. He learned from the best. He learned from Eli. He learned from Peyton. He learned from Archie. He learned from a lot of great legends and all that in quarterback academy, I guess you could call it. So
what I want to know, and what the people that are watching this, the viewers want to know, is what is giving you this 100% satisfaction
that Dallas is going to the Super Bowl?
Not only Dallas, but Romo is going to take them and win.
Okay. This is what I'm saying. If you guys could see where I'm coming from with this. Okay. So, going back to his story, Romo came into this league as a fourth string. Technically, he wasn't even supposed to be there. If you look up his story, he came from Burlington, Wisconsin. He didn't get accepted to a Division I college or whatever. I think he had to go to Division II if Eastern Illinois is Division II or Division III. I forget. I would have to do better research on that. But his only option was to go to that school because he had no other offers from any other places. So you look at a guy, he's like, third string, fourth string on a team that had 3 other quarterbacks ahead of him. Quincy Carter was the franchise at the time. They drafted him. They thought he would be the franchise quarterback. Turns out he wasn't. So, like, Romo came into this league and he moved his way up. He went from 4th string to 3rd string after they got rid of a lot of other guys, like Quincy Carter. Then he went from 3rd string to 2nd string. If it wasn't for Quincy Carter's arrest and all that with the
you as a Dallas fan,
yeah,
why can't you acknowledge that Dak is the new wave to go for your team?
Because
this is something your team has never experienced in over 20 years.
Because Dak,
I don't think they ever had a 10-game winning streak in their history. So why can't you acknowledge it and be happy?
I am happy. I'm not saying Dak's a bad kid.
So why are you stuck on this Romo wave when 13 years he didn't do nothing for your team?
Because he did do something for the team.
But give your team a bad name and get injured every year.
He got injured.
Injured prone.
He got injured. Yeah, he's injured prone.
6 back injuries.
6 back injuries. Yeah.
Pinky finger. He's not good. He's injury prone. He's
punctured lung.
He's washed up.
Broken back.
He reached his prime.
He didn't reach it yet.
Explain why.
Okay. So going back to the thing. He started out in this league as a backup. Once it was his time to take off the chains that were on him from like restricting him from being who he was, all he had to do was go out there and put it on the field. So basically, he learned from Quincy Carter, Vinny Testaverde, but he wasn't out there on that field performing because he was learning. So he went out there 06 and he took the team to a 9-7 record. Of course, obviously, that season ended with the wild finish known as the fumble the wild finish that happened in Seattle. He got labeled as a choker after that. But then he came back next year stronger, 13-3, 2007. Obviously, he came back. He led the team to first place in the NFC, home field advantage. This was the year that everyone's thinking, this is where he takes them to the Super Bowl and all that. No. New York came, beat us fair and square, and they went to win the Super Bowl. Then 2008, he tries to get into the playoffs, but he loses to Donovan McNabb's team and collapses after a 44-6 loss against the Eagles in Philadelphia, I believe it was. But then he comes back another season and he led the team to the division wild card, to the divisional round in the playoffs, to lose to Minnesota and Brett Favre.
So you're guaranteeing 100% fact.
Hold on one second.
If the fans want to go out there, the viewers want to go out there and bet money for the Super Bowl, they could bet their money on Dallas.
Yes. Give me a minute right now. I'll be right back. You can continue talking. It's just...
So what I'm understanding is the viewers can bet money that Dallas is going to win. Without a doubt. They're gonna win, right?
I would say so.
Now, since you're so knowledgeable in that, can you further predict what the score is gonna be? If Dallas is gonna win by 20 points, 10 points, 3 points, can you say any of that?
I can't say the score because
you can't say nothing, but you can guarantee Romo's winning a ring.
Romo's winning a ring.
And is he staying with the team or is he leaving after that?
Honestly.
Is he getting the starting position back or no?
Honestly, the guy's, how old is he? 36, 37, I believe?
Somewhere in that field.
Let me look it up real quick. Honestly.
He's nothing like young Eli.
But no, he's not younger than Eli.
He's not like young Eli.
Yeah. Honestly.
He didn't accomplish what we did.
I think Romo stays out there. I mean, I could be wrong. But one thing I'm for sure is that he's 36 years old. One thing I'm for sure is that the guy has come off of, I think, 3-4 maybe back surgeries since 2012, 2013.
And that doesn't tell you that he's no longer able to sustain playing without injury.
It's dangerous because you're taking a shot with him. Remember, he is fragile now because he's in his 30s.
So if you were a millionaire league owner, why would you waste your money on someone that you can almost guarantee gets hurt every season, other than taking a fresh rookie who is young, in his prime, and healthy?
Well, the thing is, see...
Why would you bet your money on the other guy?
Because that's... Alright, it's like, what's his name said?
$1 million. Why would you throw it to Romo when he's old, he's injury prone, when you got a young, healthy guy in his 20s, right, fresh out of college, healthy?
Let me ask you something.
Why would you do that? I want to hear your opinion. The viewers want to know.
Let me ask you something. This guy, Romo, he's hated now, I guess. It's like, we don't need Romo anymore.
Obviously, you don't.
Well, let's put him to the back burner because
obviously
you got the best new thing since freaking Colin Kaepernick came over.
It's a sport. That's what it's about. Out with the old and with the new. Whoever could do better.
NFL's, what's it called? What have you done for me lately? Kind of business.
Exactly.
But the thing is, people forget to remember is that, this guy came into the league. He was an undrafted quarterback.
He never accomplished nothing.
He was an undrafted quarterback. What do you mean he didn't accomplish nothing? I can name a couple things that he did. Maybe they weren't playoffs.
Championships. What did he accomplish?
Okay, so let's see this. They weren't championships. They weren't playoff games.
So what does it mean?
Because he only has 2 playoff games against Donovan McNabb and Matthew Stafford.
Then that means he's nothing.
He is something.
He's the next Dan Marino.
No. Because remember one thing. Romo has 3... Hold on one second. He has wins against teams in his career that were undefeated when they were and they were on winning streaks.
Okay, remember, but that doesn't mean nothing
he beat the Indianapolis.
But he doesn't win when it counts.
But look.
He doesn't win when it counts.
Look, whenever you count this guy out, he's always coming back and trying to prove you wrong. He came the 2006 year when he came in and took over after Drew Bledsoe. He went up against a 10-0 Peyton Manning Indianapolis Colts, the same Colts that won that Super Bowl that year against the Chicago Bears. And he proved the world wrong by beating them. It wasn't a high-scoring game, but he did beat them. And he was basically, as you would say, a rookie that season because he came in to the NFL in like 2004, I guess, and he started in 2006 after they pulled Bledsoe.
So why do you have a Tony Romo fascination or obsession?
Because the guy's story is fascinating. That's what it is. The kid
didn't do nothing in 13 years. How's that fascinating?
Because
Eli did more in 2 years than what he did in his whole career.
Eli's story is different than Romo's story. Look at Eli real quick and look at Romo's story. Eli came into the league and he got drafted in the first round.
But was he the first round pick? Eli's been in the league the same time as Tony Romo.
No, actually Eli's been there
13 years.
1 year less.
Okay, and look what he's accomplished.
Because Romo's been
2 Super Bowls in fucking 3 and 4 years.
Great for him. Because his story,
on the path to we're basically coming in hunt after. We're coming after you right now this season.
You guys, the NFC East, I gotta give them props. Last year they were a joke. They were the NFC least. Now we're the NFC beast because you got 3 teams that might be going to the playoffs: Washington, New York, Dallas.
And Eagles is in the hunt.
Eagles are in the hunt. So I mean, you can't
NFC East showdown.
And honestly, to be serious, like the only 2 teams that are really competing, unless Dallas and New York,
it's Dallas and Giants.
The only 2 teams that Dallas and New York have,
and we created you.
Yeah, you did. You created the monster that is Dak Prescott because he learned from his mistake the first game. He had help with Ezekiel, and he went to you guys' school. He went to Archie Manning, Eli Manning, and Peyton Manning's quarterback academy, I guess they call it or whatever, during the summer. And look, he played against them.
So at the end of the day, you're telling me 100% any of the viewers out there put their money on Dallas for the Super Bowl against Tom Brady and they're winning?
Yes.
100%?
Yes.
Without a doubt?
Yes. Without a doubt.
All right, people. You heard it from his mouth. That's it.
I just want to say one thing before you go off.
Do your thing.
All right. Before, I just need no interruptions. This is why I believe he's going to win the Super Bowl and all that stuff. You said to me before, why would you take a guy that's fresh out of college, fresh legs, no injuries? He doesn't even get intercepted. I think he has 2 interceptions the whole season now or whatever. Doesn't really turn the ball over. Why would you take a guy like that out for a guy that has been known as a choker, has been known for late interception that cost the team games and all that stuff. I mean, I can name games where he blew it. New York in 2011 against the Jets. He blew games like Peyton Manning, Denver, that high-scoring game where he threw the interception. He went toe-to-toe with Peyton Manning, and he couldn't get the job done at the end. The reason why I believe in is because, like, okay, you mean to tell me a kid from Eastern Illinois that came out undrafted, nobody wanted him besides Sean Payton in Denver and maybe Miami, I guess. You mean to tell me he defied all those odds to come this far for nothing? It makes no sense. Why would you keep a guy in the league for 13 years for him not to win something? There's got to be something at the end of the road for him.
He's going to be like next Dan Marino.
Dan Marino?
Do everything and leave without a ring.
Yeah, but the thing is, Dan Marino, even though you could say, oh, Dan Marino never won a ring, I believe Dan Marino did go to the Super Bowl once, right?
I believe so too.
He just didn't win a ring.
In 72, they were like 0-16.
No,
they were like 16-0.
Let me look that up real quick. He wasn't on that 72.
No, I'm saying Dolphins went 16-0 in 72.
That was 14-0.
Or whatever it was. But Dan Marino accomplished so much, and he's considered a legend, and he didn't get a ring at all.
He didn't get a ring at all. And then there's quarterbacks like Trent Dilfer, who, when he won his ring with Baltimore had a scary defense, led by Ray Lewis and all that. Let me see. Hold on one second about Dan Marino. Dan Marino is... He basically... Yeah, he's right. He's a what's it called? He's a he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2005
for accomplishing not a ring.
He despite the what's it called? He led the championship.
He's a Hall of Fame legend.
He led the Dolphins.
He never got a ring in his life.
He led the Dolphins to an AFC championship in 1984.
And never got a ring.
Second season in the NFL. During that year, he threw an then NFL record 48 passes. To fight his record of 14-2 and Marino's touchdown record, the Dolphins lost 38-16. To the 15-1 San Francisco 49ers.
And never got a ring.
And never got a ring after that.
Maybe Romo's on that path.
Romo's not on that path. Because think about it. Romo, he had records, this guy, Dan Marino. Romo was setting records. But believe you me, nobody will give Romo that love. He could go out there and freaking, what's it called? He could go and throw 6 touchdowns. He could break the touchdown record for 8 touchdown passes in a game. 7 was held by Peyton Manning and Nick Foles in 2013, I think it was. He could go out there and break that, and people will say to him, oh, but could he win a Super Bowl? That's the thing. Romo has to win the Super Bowl in order for people
he can't even win a
to
championship.
Get him respect.
He can't even win
If he wins a Super Bowl, he'll get the respect. His records will come. People will say, oh, I believe in him after he wins it. It doesn't matter because if people judge you by which have you won a championship, I could come out there and say, oh, he beat the 13-0 New Orleans Saints when they won their Super Bowl that year. I could say he beat the 10-0 Colts.
Okay, so for your final statement.
For my final statement.
What do you want to let the viewers know?
Basically, what I'm saying is that the reason why I believe Romo is going to win a ring is because he has been... He reached... Last year, when he got injured, he reached...
So you're telling me you don't believe he's finished and his career is over?
He reached his... What's it called? He reached close to the end. Because, see, now, this is where people have to realize one thing. The end of his career is coming. He's 36 years old. All you got to do is
So you're saying he has to at least get one ring before he's over?
Before it's over.
Okay.
Even if it doesn't mean tying...
We're about to sign off right here.
Yeah.
So let the fans know your final conclusion.
My final conclusion.
Dallas, Patriots, Super Bowl, let them know.
My final conclusion is they get to the playoffs.
Who? What teams?
Dallas gets to the playoffs. New England gets to the playoffs.
Okay.
Winner. Everyone else, I'm not concerned with because
who's the winner of the Super Bowl?
Who's the winner of the Super Bowl? Dallas.
MVP. Who is it?
MVP. Honestly, I mean, I know this is weird for me to say. I think if anybody deserves that MVP of that team, as much as you guys don't want to believe me or not, I mean, Ezekiel, you're great and all that stuff. Dak, you've been more than great this year. Dez, you did a lot. Everyone did their job on Dallas. But the one that really was that team's MVP, even if you guys don't believe me or not, is Romo. He takes so much to play for that team. He could have went anywhere in that whole career span He stood there. He didn't jump ship. You might hear him now in the press conference saying, "Oh, I want to go to Denver next year," It's because he's mad. He's angry because he gave all this stuff to one team. He put in 13 years of that team. And yeah, he didn't come close to winning in the playoffs, getting far in the Super Bowl or anything like that. But it's like, he put all that effort. He did not want to waste his time. Because if that was the case, the year that they signed him, he could have went to Denver. He could have went to, New Orleans, and been with, what's his name? Sean Payton, who he was close friends with. He could have went anywhere else that had a great team. You mean to tell me a guy that put that team on his back so many times, he's thinking that he's hurt right now. But the thing is, he doesn't realize what's going on. If you see his storyline, he did what he had to do. He went 78-49 or whatever his record is as a starter. He's proven that he could win.
Okay, so
his next thing is to win in the playoffs. But how do you get him to the playoffs? Another thing is if you get him to the playoffs and he gets injured, who do you have to back him up? That's Dak right there. Dak comes in as a starter now because Romo's injured. Everything happens for a reason. Romo got injured.
But Dak is the starter. Romo is the starter. Romo's the backup.
But the thing is, now look.
Just saying it could reverse.
It could reverse only because of one thing. Dak had to come in to prove that he could be a starter. If Romo never got injured during that Seahawks game, the preseason game, we don't know who Dak Prescott is. We don't know what the Cowboys' record is right now. So we don't even know if, let's say Romo didn't get injured by Cliff Averill in that game. Let's say he made it through that third preseason game. They played the rookies.
And Dak Prescott is an unknown.
Dak Prescott is an unknown quarterback.
Okay, so the conclusion for the end of the day.
Romo goes and plays the Giants. Let's say a guy on the team of the Giants like Oliver Vernon, JP.
Okay, so conclusion, end of the day.
Yeah. Patriots,
Cowboys Super Bowl. Tony Romo's taking the win. MVP Romo.
Yes.
Okay, so before we sign off right now, if you want to let the viewers know your Instagram or your Facebook or something, you can feel free. If not, we're going to just sign off right now. So, what do you feel like doing? You have any social media they could contact you at or no?
I have social media, but I'm not sharing it.
Okay, that's
All
fine.
I want to say is my name's Anthony Rodriguez.
That's no problem.
That's what I got to say.
To all the viewers out there, you can like this video, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you. It's over.